the question is, what can we expect for Mr. Perez now? Obviously, him going back to the rotation was the big conversation. How is that going to work? But it speaks for itself. He'll just slot in right into Max Meyer's spot in the rotation. And yeah, I mean, finally, Eury and Sandy fully healthy in the rotation. That should be fun. Hopefully, if Sandy continues to improve off of the start against the Rockies.
Right. Well, the question you had in there was what to expect. And I think it would just be irresponsible to try to give expectations when we've seen what happened with Sandy coming off Tommy John, looking great during his exhibition games leading directly into the season. And then what the results have been, it's a mixed bag that you get, especially during that first year or even part of that first year coming back from Tommy John. Everybody's body gets reacclimated differently. And it's hard to say exactly what he's going to be for starters. I think long-term, I'm still extremely high on Eury. I think his potential is as high as anybody in this organization. And there's a reason why there was so much hype when he got called up. He had success initially when he was with this team. It's a process coming back from Tommy John that affects people differently. The big thing, as we saw with Sandy, is just a matter of commanding your stuff really precisely. You can have success even in the minor leagues if your command isn't precise. If your stuff is good enough and you're sequencing it right, you'll get help with chases outside the zone. You'll get mistakes that sometimes you get away with more often in those minor league settings than you would in the major leagues. So measurably, his stuff looks about as good as it did before going down, where his fastball is sitting in the high 90s and he's getting some funky swings on his curveball. But even in the minors, the control has been up and down. Even in this most recent rehab outing, I think he had 3 walks in there, and pretty deep into the start had almost as many balls and strikes. That continues to be the big question here. So I wouldn't. You can't really guarantee that he's going to make them better immediately. It's very likely, and if things go well, then he can make their rotation dramatically better. But it's just hard to say when he's coming off of that same process that Sandy was and that so many other pitchers do. I think he's going to be fine long term. It shouldn't be taken for granted that he is able to throw as hard as he did before, and that he's able to throw all of his pitches in competitive situations. Like that in itself is a milestone that's important. That should make the Marlins feel great about what he's going to be in 2026 and beyond. But that is what makes his return, as we're expecting on Monday against the Pirates, to be all the more fascinating because, it could be dominance. It could be messy. Either way, I think they're going to give him as much as humanly possible the rest of this season to get adjusted back in this rotation. And I'm excited to see him because there's just nobody quite like him in baseball that is 6'8" and has a deep pitch mix and is able, when he's on, to throw all his pitches for strikes. There's a reason why he's one of the top prospects in the league, one of the top pitching prospects the Marlins have ever had at the time of his debut. The hype was deserved. So it's just a question of how long he's going to take to get back to that form. And so even I don't know, and I don't think anybody knows for sure.
I think that the word that would permeate right now with the Marlins organization and with all of us is protect. They have to protect this player. They cannot afford another injury to a starting pitcher. Like if he comes back and has a setback, it's not going to be good. They have to protect this player. And in a lot of ways, not saying that Eury is immature, but this is still a kid. You have to protect him from himself. So he doesn't have to go out there. And yes, we know he has the velo in the tank, just as Eli just said. We know he has the high effort pitches in the tank, as Eli also just said, and this deep pitch mix, as Eli also said. He doesn't have to go out there every single time and throw 99 with every single fastball and throw sliders and high effort pitches with each of his secondaries. He needs to go out there and build back. He still, even though he had the rehab, he still needs to build back. So what I would say overall, and I definitely think, and all of us think, how the Marlins will handle this situation is that they will ease him back in. Even though he had rehab, don't expect Eury Pérez to come back and throw 7 innings in the start. That probably won't happen for at least another little while. He's still going to be going very easily through his initial build back into the major leagues, even against the Pirates. So I would expect a 4 to 5 inning start. Hopefully he goes 5. That would be great. I would expect like a 4 inning outing maybe upwards of 50 pitches. That would be great. A great start for Eury Pérez. But the Marlins don't have to rush it for this pitcher. I think we can all agree that this is not going to be a winning season for the Miami Marlins. They need to build for the future and worry about the future. This is still a very young player coming back from a very serious injury. The Marlins need to protect this player from himself. And I think a lot of our questions about coaching and front office and rehabbing and quality control and human control, human building and health building will rely a lot on how they handle this situation with Eury. They just need to let this player know that he doesn't have to be the Eury Pérez of old in every single outing as he's building back. If he has a blow-up start, it's fine. If he goes 2 innings and blows up, it's fine. It's not that big of a deal. This is a player who needs to build back and gain confidence again in Major League Baseball, and above all, build up his health. That's the most important thing for Pérez. If he goes through the rest of this season and in September he throws 6 and 7 innings, that's a win for Miami.